One day Shizuka is busy typing away on her laptop, expecting to be a total ghost until she acknowledges him despite being blind, which completely stuns him since he thought his stealth stats were maxed out, leaving him confused about how she's using wall hacks to track his position. But Shizuka explains it's all in the scent, which makes Akira immediately panic about his hygiene, causing him to sniff himself in a total frenzy before she clarifies that her other senses are just straight up op. Shizuka enters panic mode, quickly explaining she didn't mean it in a bad way at all. She tells him that since she's blind, her other senses are basically at op levels compared to average NPCs, proving she's the only one who can truly find him, which sends his heart rate into rage mode and prompts him to speedrun an invite to dinner. And even though Shizuka usually plays as an NPC when it comes to eating out, she agrees to let him lead, taking his arm as they walk through the streets while she senses his nerves are spiking, eventually finding a restaurant that smells like a straight-up 10 out of 10, where they order a massive spread and treat the whole meal like a new adventure, laughing over some weird-tasting coriander while Shizuka wonders if this is actually a romantic side quest. And just as things get a bit stiff between them, Akira confirms that this is 100% a date, guiding her hand to his chest so she can feel his heart pounding like a drum, which calms her down enough to shout her excitement to the entire restaurant. And as they walk home, she clings to his arm while Akira grins like he's got all the plot armor in the world, teasing her until she's blushing furiously, though he eventually escorts her safely back to her apartment, where she squeals into her pillow like a true anime heroine over how well the evening went. And the next day at the office, she's totally distracted by his soothing voice and elegant movements, asking him if he ever wishes people could actually see his character model. But Akira is fine being a ghost as long as she knows his soul is solid. Meanwhile, Shizuka gets her movement speed nerfed when she trips over a bike, only to be saved by the beastwoman Luna, who immediately joins the rest of the squad, Daichi and the crew, to brew some coffee and tease Shizuka about her love life, just as Akira enters and pulls a total Riz move by removing a cherry blossom from her hair. And then a bunch of aliens show up with a missing person case where everyone looks exactly the same, leading Akira to start his investigation using his invisibility to tail subjects without getting spotted, though he accidentally yeets a kid's ice cream cone while he's walking around as a phantom. Back at the base, Shizuka is deep into a romance audiobook while scolding Luna for using company loot on snacks, but the mood drops when Akira returns and they notice blood stains on his invisible clothes, because he took a critical hit from a furious wife during an infidelity case. And since his blood becomes visible once it leaves his body, Shizuka panics thinking his HP is at 0, so she fixes him up with a first aid kit, and Akira finds the whole thing weirdly pleasant and ticklish, staying late to work overtime together while they share a special blend of tea. And as Shizuka sips her drink, she wonders if this relationship is a permanent buff or just a one-time event. Akira hits her with the confirmation, making it official that this is exactly what she thought. The confirmation gives Shizuka a major debuff to her nerves, so Akira gently guides her hand to his chest to hear his heart pounding like crazy. Realizing he's just as nervous as she is, Shizuka feels a massive relief and shouts it out, accidentally making the whole restaurant stare at them. Once the food's gone, her social anxiety starts creeping back up. She grabs onto a piece of Akira's clothing just to keep him within reach. Akira suggests she should stop the pinching and just hold onto him for real. This sends Shizuka into a total tailspin, throwing out every excuse in the book while insisting she's definitely down to hold him. Even though he's invisible, Akira is grinning like a madman, finding her reaction absolutely top-tier cute. Shizuka picks up on the tease in his voice and hits him with a quick scolding. Akira stays honest, telling her he wants her to always know exactly how he feels. He admits he feels like skipping out of pure joy and playfully asks her to join him in a skip. Shizuka is blushing at max capacity now, so Akira decides to stop the teasing for the night. Instead, he guides her hand to his arm properly and escorts her back home like a total gentleman. Back at the apartment, Shizuka heads to her room to wind down from the mission. As soon as she hits the bed, she lets out a squeal of pure delight, overwhelmed by how well things are going with Akira. The next day at the office, she's got Akira on the brain 24/7. She's low-key simping for him, thinking about how soothing his voice is and how smooth his movements sound. She shakes her head to clear the distraction, but she's still left wondering what Akira's opinion of her actually is. Recalling their conversation from last night, she starts questioning the deeper meaning behind his words. so she works up the courage to ask him something that's been bugging her for a while. She asks Akira if he ever wishes he could actually be seen by her. After a pause, Akira says he's cool with being invisible, then flips the script and asks if she'd like to see him. Without missing a beat, Shizuka says she can tell he's a good person, and honestly, that's all she needs to know. Akira is hyped by her answer, while Shizuka feels a wave of comfort knowing he doesn't mind that she can't physically see him. The next day, while Shizuka is walking to the detective agency, her cane gets caught on a bike and she takes a tumble. Luckily, she's caught by Luna, a beast woman who realizes her bike was the one that caused the disaster. Back at the office, Shizuka is crushing it, handling potential clients over the phone. While grabbing some files, she accidentally bumps into Daichai. Daichai stays calm and tells her to take exactly 5 steps back. Once she clears the area, he lets her move forward and mentions he made her a coffee, placing it right by her PC. Later on, Shizuka asks Luna and Daichai if there's anything weird about how she looks today. Luna immediately starts teasing her, asking if she's trying to impress a certain someone. She tells her she looks fire and says she's always down for some romance girl talk. Luna keeps teasing, and when Daichai finds it annoying, she just grits her teeth at him. Right then, Akira enters the office to start his shift. He walks up to Shizuka and politely asks if it's okay for him to touch her hair. This catches her off guard, giving her a flashback to when her parents used to pat her head. Just as Akira starts to back off, Shizuka nervously gives him the green light. She's surprised when all he does is gently remove a cherry blossom that was caught in her hair. Watching the whole thing unfold, Luna starts piecing together who Shizuka's secret crush actually is. Sensing Luna is onto her, Shizuka quickly tells Akira he needs to get ready for his consultations. The agency finally opens for business, welcoming clients with all sorts of weird problems. Among them is a group of aliens searching for their missing daughter. The problem, every single one of these aliens looks identical, and the photo of their daughter is basically just a mirror image of them. Once they leave, the squad huddles up to figure out how to handle this impossible case. Daichai, looking bored as usual, suggests they just look for another identical NPC. Later that day, Akira kicks off his investigation on the first case. Akira keeps his distance while tailing the man. He almost blows his cover when he accidentally bumps into someone on the street. When the man turns toward the sound, Akira activates full invisibility to stay hidden. Once the man resumes walking, Akira thinks about how OP his invisibility is for detective work. But then, out of nowhere, a young boy crashes straight into him. Akira quickly replaces the kid's ice cream, realizing that invisibility has its downsides. Meanwhile, back at base, Shizuka is focused on something on her phone. Luna sees her smiling and asks what's got her in such a good mood. Shizuka explains she's just listening to an audiobook. Curious, Luna joins in to listen for a second. Shizuka excitedly explains the intense romantic build-up between the leads. Luna admits Shizuka is a beast, since she's having trouble even following the plot. Shizuka just laughs it off, saying she's always been a sharp listener. Shizuka is surprised that a beast person like Luna doesn't rely more on her enhanced senses. Luna admits it's not exactly her specialty, mentioning she can't even tell when Akira is in the room. Still, Luna stays confident, claiming she could take anyone down if she actually locked in. Shizuka then asks to borrow Luna's eyes to check the price on a receipt she needs to file. Luna reads it easily, but then casually admits she spent the money on snacks while guarding a client. Shizuka politely reminds her that company funds aren't for her snack cravings. Luna just assumes it's because humans can't eat the beast snacks she bought. As Shizuka tries to explain, Luna suddenly realizes she's late and bolts out of the office. Shizuka checks the time and notices it's getting late, and Akira is still out on the field. A bit later, Shizuka senses Akira is back and greets him, but the others swear the room is empty. Suddenly, Daichai spots blood on the floor and panics, thinking Shizuka is the one injured. This sends Luna into a total frenzy as she starts checking Shizuka for wounds. Once the chaos settles, Shizuka walks into the room with a first aid kit. She calmly asks if Akira is the one who needs medical attention. Akira then makes his clothes visible, revealing blood stains all over his sleeve. He explains he got tagged while reporting on an infidelity case. Akira shares that he met the couple at a restaurant where he showed proof of the husband's cheating. The wife lost her mind, and the two soon started a massive shouting match. Akira tried to intervene, but the wife swiped at him, leaving deep gashes on his arm. He says seeing his visible blood was the only thing that actually shocked them into stopping. Even Akira thinks it's weird that his blood becomes visible the second it leaves his body. Shizuka immediately asks how severe the wound is. Akira admits it's hard to tell since, he's invisible. Hearing this, Shizuka starts shaking, terrified he might actually bleed out. Akira quickly calms her down, saying the bleeding isn't actually that bad. He lets her hold the gauze in place while he handles the taping himself. As they tend to the wound, Akira comments on how strange it feels to have Shizuka worry about him. He describes the sensation as feeling kind of pleasant and ticklish. Shizuka takes him literally and worries she's pressing the gauze incorrectly. Akira explains he's just naturally ticklish, but stops her when she thinks about tickling him on purpose. When they finally leave the meeting room, they realize everyone else has already gone home. Akira says he's staying for overtime, which makes Shizuka worry all over again. She decides to stay too, using the time to order some much-needed office supplies. That way, they can take a break together once she's finished. But Akira suggests they take a break right now. He prepares a special new blend of tea just for Shizuka. When Shizuka tells him how much she loves it, Akira sits down beside her, clearly hyped that she likes his brew. Sipping her tea, she wonders if their last dinner was just a one-time thing. The thought makes her sad, but she soon realizes she could be the one to ask him out next time. So she ignores her inner NPC and gathers enough courage to finally hit him with a direct invitation. And just as Akira is about to speak, she blurts out the dinner invite, making our MC chuckle as he ups the stakes, promising that after dinner, he's taking her for a premium tea date next, which she quickly agrees to before they even set a schedule. So they eventually head to a specialty tea shop where the variety of leaves is absolutely op. And when she asks about his taste, he admits he chooses his brews based on their status effects. But the vibes are suddenly interrupted when a guy named Karma chimes in to leak some tea, explaining that Akira was specifically looking for a blend that would make his girlfriend happy, which sends Karma into a frenzy of personal questions until his partner Light yeets him away, leaving Akira to apologize for the chaos, while Shizuka suggests they brew custom blends for each other. And while they wait, she wonders if he chose this specific shop just to buff her mood. Karma spills the beans on how Akira came in looking for tea that would make his girlfriend happy. Assuming Shizuka is the girlfriend in question, Karma starts firing off questions like a machine gun. Akira quickly shuts it down, explaining they aren't actually dating yet. Karma turns bright red and asks even more personal stuff, until Light finally drags him away. Akira apologizes for the chaos. Shizuka brushes it off, suggesting they each make a special tea blend for one another. A little later, Light takes their choices and starts brewing them up. While they wait, Shizuka asks if Akira picked this specific shop just for her sake. She immediately feels self-centered and hits him with a quick apology. Shizuka admits she has a habit of overthinking people's motives. Akira reassures her, saying that's actually a high-tier skill for a detective's assistant. The praise makes Shizuka nervous, and she starts stammering about how her blindness holds her back. She says she can't tell what someone looks like unless she touches them. This prompts Akira to offer his hand to her so she can see him. She notes his fingers are thin and his nails are kept super neat. Akira admits he has trouble cutting them since he can't actually see them. Shizuka lights up at that, saying she deals with the exact same struggle. Akira gently holds Shizuka's hand back, complimenting her on her own nails. Light returns with the tea, and both are immediately hit with that amazing aroma. Back at the agency, Shizuka asks Luna to describe how Akira usually dresses. Luna struggles to explain, eventually saying he dresses like a classic English gentleman. Shizuka thinks that sounds super cool, and Luna agrees, saying it's a total spy outfit. Daichai quickly corrects her, saying spies only dress like that in the movies. Shizuka admits she's planning a shopping trip soon and wanted to match Akira's vibe. Luna asks if she's trying to copy Akira's style. Daichai bluntly points out that it's obviously for her upcoming date with Akira. Luna gets defensive and starts playfully strangling him. Shizuka shyly admits that yeah, it is for a date. Luna instantly lights up, making Shizuka even more embarrassed. Shizuka explains she wants to wear something special for the date to mark the occasion. Luna hugs Shizuka and promises they're going shopping together. Daichai reminds Luna to actually think about Shizuka's style when choosing clothes. Later at the store, Shizuka starts trying on several looks. Luna finds all of them fire and excitedly urges her to try more. Shizuka asks Luna to slow down, explaining that she wants time to figure out the piece she's holding. Using her phone, Shizuka scans the clothes, and it tells her that the piece is a light blue. Luna notices she's struggling and offers to describe the outfits to her instead. The two take a seat, and Luna begins describing the selection. Luna suddenly apologizes for being a bit inconsiderate towards Shizuka earlier. This catches Shizuka off guard, as she wonders if Daichi's words are still bothering Luna. Luna admits that she's recently started noticing how thoughtless she can be. She brings up how her bad bike parking was the reason Shizuka fell. Hearing this, Shizuka just asks if Luna might have accidentally eaten something off the ground. Luna freezes before realizing Shizuka is just making a joke to make her feel better. Feeling relieved, Luna promises to treat Shizuka to some food later on. Back at the office, Akira tries to ask that Ikai for restaurant recommendations, but Daichi is acting like a total NPC, showing zero interest in a real convo. Eventually, Akira just gives up and goes back to the grind. But the second he opens his laptop, he sees a notification from Daichi. Turns out he sent a whole list of top-tier date spots. What a tsundia. Akira can't help but grin, feeling like he just unlocked a rare friendship achievement. Later, the elf duo Karma and Light stop by the agency for a serious consultation. They introduce themselves as a married pair of elves before heading into the strategy room. They've been getting stalked by some creepy white-hooded figures lately. Light explains that these stalkers park right outside their shop and have been harassing the local NPCs. To make matters worse, they're constantly snapping photos of the couple. Karma is low-key blushing at the attention, but Light is genuinely worried they're being followed everywhere. Karma quickly jumps in, promising the stalkers didn't trail them to the agency. Akira locks in and reassures them that the agency will handle these creeps ASAP. It doesn't take long for Daichi to track the car thanks to a beacon Luna stealthily attached. The signal leads them straight to a pharmaceutical company called White. Sus much. Luna's already got the reconnaissance photos ready for Akira to analyze. They notice the uniforms are identical, but the people wearing them keep swapping out. This isn't just a simple stalker quest, it's something way bigger. Suddenly, Luna calls in a panic. Two sus cars just pulled up right in front of the tea shop. She's already moved Karma and Light out through the secret back exit. Daichi and Akira bolt to provide backup, leaving Shizuka to hold down the fort. A bit later, a mysterious visitor arrives at the agency. Shizuka goes to greet him, not realizing he's one of the white-hooded men, a guy named Twin. Just as Twin makes a move, Akira appears out of nowhere and restrains him. But wait, Twin drops his hood to reveal he's an elf, and he's actually Light's dad. Once the aggro dies down, Twin explains what's actually going on. Turns out he just wanted to check on his daughter after she eloped with Karma. Light is absolutely fuming, scolding her dad for involving the whole clan in their drama. Twin tries to play it off as family concern, but the misunderstanding is already massive. Karma starts teasing his new father-in-law, which goes about as well as you'd expect. The two start trading insults like they're in a lobby chat. The agency squad just watches the chaos, wondering if the case is actually over. Later that night, the team hits the office for some celebratory food and drinks. Daichi is being his usual gloomy self, saying he'd rather be at home. Luna roasts his personality, saying he's never gonna find a girlfriend acting like that. But Daichi drops a truth bomb. He's already got a partner waiting for him. Everyone is shook. Daichi was the last person they expected to have game. Luna notices Shizuka hasn't touched the alcohol and tells her to let loose, promising to be her designated escort. Trusting her friend, Shizuka decides to take a few sips after all. Fast forward to the end of the night, and Luna is the one passed out cold on the couch. Shizuka is worried, but Akira swoops in, saying he's already got a taxi ready to take her home safe. Inside the cab, Shizuka's heart is racing as she wonders if she should invite him in. Is it time for a home visit arc? Her thoughts are interrupted when Akira speaks up. He invites her on a special date to a dark restaurant where you eat in total pitch black. He wants to understand Shizuka's world by navigating through the shadows. That's some top-tier rom-com energy right there. Shizuka is totally touched. She agrees to go, and they arrive at her apartment shortly after. She thanks him for being the perfect gentleman and seeing her all the way back. But before he leaves, she gathers her courage and invites him in for tea. Akira politely declines since the meter is running, but he promises to stay for a drink next time. Once he's gone, Shizuka realizes she needs someone to check if her room is actually presentable. The day of the date arrives, and Shizuka looks absolutely stunning. Akira notices her elegant new look immediately. She's definitely wearing the op gear today. He tries to break her nerves by saying she'll be the one escorting HIM tonight. As they sit down, Shizuka asks if it's already dark, but Akira can still see a bit. There's a small candle on the table, giving him just enough light to navigate. Then the announcer says it's time for true darkness, and every light is snuffed out. Akira confirms it's officially pitch black. Now they're both playing on her turf. Shizuka beams a wide smile and welcomes Akira into her world. She guides him, telling him to feel around the table to get his bearings. When the first course hits, she handles it like a pro while enjoying the flavors. She asks Akira how the food is, but he suddenly excuses himself to hit the restroom. The second he's out, he lets out a shaky breath. Darkness gun is hitting him hard. He washes his face and heads back, only to find Shizuka waiting for him in the lit lobby. She can tell he's struggling and suggests they call it a night. Akira is beyond grateful that she noticed his distress. He apologizes for wasting the date, but Shizuka is way ahead of him. She shows him the bag. She had the staff pack their gourmet meal to go. Big brain play. While walking, Akira asks if they can eat the meal at his place instead. Shizuka agrees without thinking much of it, but suddenly becomes nervous. By the time they get to his apartment, she's so nervous she's giving one-word answers. Akira finally opens up and admits he's actually terrified of the dark. It all stems back to a childhood test of courage that went totally wrong. He lost his partner who was holding the light and got stranded in the woods. The clouds blocked the moon and he was stuck in total darkness. He tripped, got hurt and waited for help, but nobody came. When he finally made it back to the lodge, nobody had even noticed he was gone. Talk about a critical hit to the heart. He didn't realize the trauma was still there until tonight. Since the city is always brightly lit, he'd managed to avoid his greatest fear, until Shizuka's world forced him to face the shadows again. But Shizuka shuts down his fear by promising she'll always track his scent and voice, vowing that he'll never be lost in the void as long as she's around to sense his every move, which is a total heart melter that gives our MC enough confidence to finally pop the question and ask her out. Shizuka lets out a high-pitched squeak that basically confirms the dating achievement is unlocked, even though she's low-key panicking about the after-dinner logistics. But Akira tanks the awkwardness by promising to keep things wholesome, gently grabbing her waist in a move that sends her heart rate into rage mode. Fast forward a week, and they're trying to act like total NPCs at the office to keep things professional. But Shizuka is struggling to keep her focus stats up because she keeps daydreaming about more romantic side quests, and just as she tries to lock in and work hard, Akira breaks the stealth mode promise by pulling her into a surprise embrace that completely deletes her composure. She pouts and starts tickling him as punishment for being too smooth, oblivious to the fact that Daichai is right outside the door, witnessing the cringe and wondering if he should even enter. Meanwhile, the duo decides to skip the taxi and walk home together, giving Shizuka the perfect opening to invite him over for a private tea session at her place. And even though she's giddy and bouncing around, Akira reads her intent like a book and pulls her close on the train, confirming he's down for the visit before they eventually reach her apartment, where she tries to play the perfect hostess. The mission almost hits a disaster wall when Akira spots some special loot, specifically a piece of clothing, left on the floor, causing him to panic pretend he didn't see anything, while Shizuka's foot accidentally brushes against the evidence. But our MC is a bro and calls it a handkerchief to save her from a total social death. They settle in for muffins, where Akira turns the food invisible mid-chew to avoid looking like a hungry monster. When they pull away, Shizuka starts tickling him, saying he needs punishment for breaking their pact. Akira admits he's been thinking about a kiss, but since their visual cues are laggy, he just taps her forehead in a wholesome beta kiss. Back at the agency, Akira shows off a new legendary tier suit. And even though Luna roasts him because he's a literal ghost, Shizuka hypes him up by saying his vibe is immaculate. He gets so hyped he lets her feel the fabric, explaining that clothes are his only way to be seen in this world. And he even drops some lore about how he turns his gear invisible using a special substance, though his stealth ability is nerfed against living things, meaning Shizuka's hands won't disappear when they link up. Meanwhile, Shizuka brings her mom to the tea shop for a visit, but Karma almost blows her cover by asking if she's already married to the invisible man. Luckily, her mom is still oblivious. While back at the office, Luna and Daichai are sick of the secret couple being so obvious and demand they just use first names in front of the whole squad. But the real plot twist arrives when the lawyer Koski pulls up for a consultation, bonding with Akira over suit styles before leaving some snacks behind. And it's finally revealed that Daichai and Koski are the true power couple in a secret relationship. Daichi eventually flexes this reveal on the entire team, but the wholesome vibes are interrupted when Shizuka catches a massive fever, prompting our invisible boyfriend to rush over for some nursing duty. Shizuka blushes at her own needy behavior, realizing her mom is still nearby doing housework while her secret romance is about to level up. Suddenly, Akira spots something on the floor. It's a piece of clothing. Major panic. He tries to act cool, thinking it's better to just pretend he's blind to the situation. Shizuka brings him some tea, but her foot brushes right against the evidence. Akira freezes. Should he say something or stay invisible? He doesn't want to embarrass her, but leaving it there feels like a ticking time bomb. Shizuka finally picks it up, feeling the fabric as she slowly realizes what it is. Akira jumps in, claiming it looks just like a handkerchief. Nice save. Shizuka immediately goes along with it, hiding the embarrassment. They settle down to eat muffins, and Akira has to use his stealth skills. He turns the food invisible in his mouth, so Shizuka doesn't have to watch him chew. She tells him to just eat normally. She can't see him anyway, right? Shizuka immediately regrets not saying something more romantic. Pain. Akira tries to eat faster, but the vibe is already getting pretty awkward. When it's time to head out, Shizuka is just glad he bought the handkerchief story. From her perspective, if he chewed while the food was visible, it would look as though he were chewing with his mouth open. When Akira admits that he envies people who can eat quickly, Shizuka tells him to eat however he likes. She reassures him that she would not be able to see him chewing anyway. Almost immediately, Shizuka realizes she probably should have said something more romantic. Even so, Akira attempts to eat faster, though he feels awkward doing so. When it is time for Akira to leave, Shizuka feels relieved that he believed the clothing on the floor was only a handkerchief. She is pulled out of her thoughts when Akira suddenly suggests that they start calling each other by their first names. Shizuka blushes at the idea as Akira softly calls her name. He remarks that she looks adorable and admits that he has been thinking about kissing her, which earns him an immediate squeak. Akira then explains that normal couples usually rely on visual cues to know when it is okay kiss, something that is difficult for them. Shizuka begins to wonder if there might be a way for them to create their own cue. The fact that she is thinking about it makes Akira ask if it is okay to kiss her. Without waiting for her response, he lightly taps her forehead to mimic a kiss. Shizuka can tell it's a tap. One day at the office, the entire team is present, and Akira bustles around sounding more energetic than usual. Shizuka is the first to notice and wonders if something good has happened. Akira brightens when she points it out and proudly explains that he bought a new suit and is wearing it today. He posts out his front slightly to show it off and asks the others if it looks good on him. Luna bluntly states that since he is invisible, it is hard to tell. Akira fumbles a little at her comment, and Shizuka hears the hurt in his voice. She wants to say something kind to cheer him up, but realizes she cannot, since she cannot even see the clothes herself. That she suddenly speaks up, telling Akira that he thinks the suit matches his vibe really well. Luna then adds that it does seem to fit him nicely. Hearing this, Akira immediately becomes enthusiastic again. Shizuka listens to the conversation from a distance, feeling slightly left out because she cannot take part in it. Noticing this, Akira approaches her and tells her that his suit feels nice. He gently guides her hands so she can feel a fabric for herself. With the same excitement, Akira continues talking about the suit to her, making Shizuka giggle as his enthusiasm reminds her of a child. Through this, she learns that Akira is actually fond of clothes, since they are the only way he can make himself seeable to others. Luna then asks how invisible people are able to turn even their clothes invisible. Akira explains that they release a substance that allows their clothes to turn invisible along with them. Shizuka asks if her hands would disappear if they held hands. Akira suddenly takes her hand, catching her off guard, and explains that it would not, since his ability only works on non-living things. Luna comments that being invisible must come with many benefits, but Akira replies that there are many rules placed on them, and they are not allowed to be fully invisible in public. However, he has a special license to do so because of his job. He then begins to enumerate the problems that come with being completely invisible. One day, Light welcomes Shizuka into the tea shop. This time, Shizuka brings her mother along. Shizuka's mother expresses her excitement about making her own blend. Light wonders to herself if Shizuka has told her mother about her relationship with Akira. On one of her visits to the office, Shizuka shyly admitted that she was devying Akira, and her bashful expression even had karma falling for her. Given how shy Shizuka is, Light assumes that she probably has not told her mother, so she decides to stay quiet. However, the moment Kama sees Shizuka, he immediately asks if Shizuka and Akira are already married. Light tries to quiet him down, but Shizuka's mother chuckles at the idea of Shizuka getting married. They soon begin an easy conversation about Akira, and Light starts to wonder if she was wrong in assuming Shizuka had not told her mother anything. However, Shizuka's mother actually has no idea that Shizuka has a boyfriend and casually asks to meet him someday. At the office, Shizuka and Akira struggle to use each other's last names. Daicha and Luna notice this and begin grumbling among themselves about how obvious their relationship is, insisting that they should just call each other by their first names in the office. Luna complains to Daicha that Shizuka has been dodging her questions, but the way she acts around Akira makes everything obvious. Daicha realizes that Luna is right, and he grows annoyed as well. He calls out to Akira and Shizuka and bluntly tells them that they are being obvious and should just go ahead and call each other by their names. Luna immediately starts shaking Daicha for his lack of tact. Shizuka and Akira are frozen in place, not knowing how to handle the office chaos. Before things get too wild, Kosuke drops by with a new quest for Akira. They head into the strategy room, where Kosuke explains he needs backup on a heavy case. He promises to bring his client next time so Akira can hear the full story from the source. But first, Kosuke stops to compliment Akira's suit, giving him massive drip points. Akira is hyped that someone finally gets his high-tier fashion sense, even if lawyers have to stick to those boring NPC-style suits. Akira suggests Kosuke tries square pockets to break out of his basic lawyer gear. Kosuke is low-key giddy at the idea, already planning his next outfit upgrade. Akira just watches him smile, thinking about what a wholesome guy Kosuke is. Kosuke bids farewell to the squad, mentioning he left some premium snacks with Akira. He's sorry he forgot the beast snacks for Luna, but promises a restock on his next visit. Daicha hits him with a firm don't, but Akira just tells him to get home safe. Kosuke flashes a smile, thanking Akira for always being such a solid partner. Akira says the firm is a top-tier ally, but Kosuke just gives him a very mysterious look. Later during dinner, Kosuke complains that Daicha hasn't told the agency they're actually dating. Daicha doesn't see the point, but Kosuke wants them to know who to call if our boy takes a critical hit. To stop the pestering, Daicha promises to reveal his secret weapon partner during next week's visit. Just as promised, Daicha bluntly tells the agency that Kosuke is his partner. Kosuke enters with a dazzling smile and a bag of snacks for Luna. Luna asks for the law, and Kosuke starts a story about a mountain trip, but Daicha cuts the cutscene immediately. One day, Shizuka is out of commission thanks to a nasty fever and cold. Akira calls her up and offers to do a house visit side quest. At first, she is hesitant. She quietly admits she actually really wants to see her invisible man. After hanging up, Shizuka is low-key blushing at how spoiled she sounded. Then she remembers her mom is currently in the house doing chores. She calls out, but when there's no response, she figures mom finished the level and left. But plot twist, mom is actually just vibing on the balcony. Akira arrives at the door, and Shizuka welcomes him into the base. He tells her ghosts can't catch colds and heads to the kitchen to prep a warm meal. Before long, he's in her room serving up a steaming bowl of healing porridge. Shizuka can't smell a thing with her nose stuffed, but she appreciates the effort. When Akira offers the spoon, she shyly asks if he can actually feed her. She immediately regrets the request, but Akira is a total pro and even blows on the food first. She says it's fine, but her little squeak alerts her mother who's still in the house. While feeding her, Akira notices a bit of food on her chin and moves in close. As Akira feeds her, he notices a bit of food on her chin. And that's exactly when Shizuka's mom walks in on the whole scene. She introduces herself while Shizuka's face turns into a literal tomato. She apologizes for interrupting and introduces herself as Shizuka's mother. She tells them she's leaving so they're free to do whatever they want. Maximum awkwardness. Next week, Kosuke brings in a client who needs help from the invisible detective. The squad is shook when the client, Aya, walks in, because she's invisible just like Akira. Luna makes a crude joke, and while Akira apologizes, Aya just laughs it off. She is simply too happy to meet another one of her species in the city. Akira's voice sounds way happier than usual, and Shizuka's jealousy meter starts rising. Luna starts teasing her, pointing out how Shizuka is suddenly acting very self-conscious, that she tries to ease her worries by reasoning that Akira's reaction is normal, since his species is quite rare. She noticed how eager Akira was to talk to this new girl. In the meeting room, Aya explains that she has been accused of theft at work. Since the CCTV shows nobody taking it, they blamed her because she's invisible. NPC logic at its finest. Unfortunately, she cannot explain herself to the company president because he is currently hospitalized. It's hard to prove an alibi when cameras can't even confirm where you are. Koski brings up that it is difficult to prove Aya's alibi because she was somewhere else at the time the crime took place. However, since invisible people cannot be identified on camera, her alibi will be rejected. After hearing her story, Akira assures Aya that they will handle the case. Gamaki is sweating buckets, clearly not expecting a lawyer and a detective to show up. Akira asks for the CCTV footage, and Gamaki starts looking even more sus. He visibly sweats while speaking to them, clearly not having anticipated that Aya would hire both a lawyer and a detective. Suddenly, Gamaki notices that Akira has vanished from the room. Gamaki provides it, but begins sweating even more. Akira notes that there is no interaction visible during the time when the safe is open, and checked the following day. The safe didn't move an inch in the footage, proving a visible person must have done it. Gamaki is pale, trying to backpedal as fast as he can. Gaimeki's handkerchief lifts into the air and begins patting away his sweat, while Akira's voice can be heard as he straightens Gaimeki's tie. Gamaki was the one who took the money and used Aya as the perfect fall guy. Invisible people are still tangible, and the things that interact with will still move. He refers back to the safe and points out that it has not moved at all, making it impossible for Aya to be the culprit. Aya returns to the agency to give her thanks to the squad for saving her job. Koski then brings out his laptop and shows Gamaki another video, one that was taken shortly after Gamaki took over for the president. The footage shows him hurriedly depositing bills into an ATM. Koski shares his conclusion, stating that Gamaki took the money himself and deposited it, so it would not be traced back to him. Luna immediately suggests a camping trip in the mountains. Gameki pales when he is exposed and panics even more when he finally notices that the company president has arrived during their discussion. Gameki struggles to explain himself as the president scolds him and forces the truth out of him. Sometime later, Aya visits the agency to express her gratitude. Akira and Koski bow politely and accept her thanks. After she leaves, they turn to the rest of the team and thank them for carrying on a swift investigation before the accusations against their client escalate further. Luna and Daiichi credit Shizuka for how quickly the case was handled, pointing out that she is the one who schedules everything. Shizuka panics at the sudden attention and apologizes for rushing the case without permission. She does not admit that she did so because she sensed how important the case was to Akira, especially from the anger in his voice when he first heard the story. Akira surprises her by thanking her and bowing in return. He then suggests that they take a company trip as a reward for all the good work they have done. Luna immediately latches onto the idea, proposing that they go camping in the mountains. Even Koski seems eager to join despite Daichi's protests. Akira quickly agrees to the suggestions and Shizuka smiles as she notices that the tone of his voice has returned to normal. On the day of the trip, Luna and Shizuka rejoice at being surrounded by nature while the men are busy setting up camp. Akira asks a lot why Shizuka is wearing sunglasses, and she explains that they protect her eyes from stray branches. Koski designs Shizuka the task of grinding coffee beans so she can help out a little. Seeing Luma struggles, Koski gives her a job by asking her to prepare the firewood. Akira notices that Koski is surprisingly skilled at camping and seems to genuinely enjoy it. Koski credits his fondness for camping to Daichi. As the group settles into the campsite, Akira invites Shizuka to take a walk around the area. She eagerly agrees, and soon they find themselves walking along a fence path near the campsite. Shizuka enjoys the sounds of nature and the freshness of the air while Akira carefully guides her, making sure she does not get hurt on unfamiliar terrain. Shizuka remarks that she feels very safe with him, and Akira admits that he feels the same way. His words remind Shizuka of Akira's traumatic experience in the mountains, so she cautiously asks if being there is really okay for him. Akira admits that he felt some hesitation at first, but being with Shizuka makes him forget about it for the most part, and he feels safe beside her. He then spots a bench up ahead and suggests they take a short break. As they sit down, Shizuka confesses that she sometimes feels useless to him. Akira immediately reassures her, telling her that she's been a great help, especially during their most recent case. Shizuka explains that she rushed the investigation because it was unsettling to hear Akira sound genuinely angry. It made her imagine how devastated she would feel if Akira were ever accused of something similar. Realizing how emotional she sounds, she apologizes. Instead of dismissing her feelings, Akira leans closer and explains that historically, invisible people are often treated as prime suspects in many cases. Because of that, he is deeply grateful that Shizuka and the others acted quickly to clear Aya's name. He gently pulls Shizuka closer, causing her to stiffen in surprise. Akira chuckles softly at her reaction, earning him a mild scolding from her. With a fond smile, he lifts the sunglasses from her eyes and draws her in until their lips meet. Shizuka feels the gentle pressure against her lips and blurts out a question. Akira cheerfully confirms that he has just kissed her, earning a squeak from Shizuka as her face burns an even deeper shade of red. When Akira suggests they head back, Shizuka lightly tugs on his shirt and asks if they can spend a little more time together. Akira sits back down and pulls Shizuka closer once again. Later in the evening, Daichi and Akira sit by the campfire, while Kosuke takes the opportunity to talk with the girls. He shares that he used to hit the mountains and gradually begins telling his story. He explains that he used to be overweight, which made it difficult for him to keep up with his classmates during a mountain climb. Feeling guilty, he insisted that his friends go on ahead since they were all heading in the same direction anyway. His friends continued forward while he kept moving uphill at his own slow pace. Soon more and more students from his grade began passing him until he became dead last on the trail. As he looked up, he noticed Daichi walking only a short distance ahead. A wave of relief washed over him, knowing that he was not completely alone and that Daichi was someone he recognized from class. Kosuke continued following Daichi up the mountain, but eventually became too tired and decided to rest. While catching his breath, he noticed that Daichi had come back for him and was offering him a bottle of water. When Kosuke took it, Daichi picked up his backpack and started walking again. Kosuke tried to tell him that he could carry it himself, but Daichi only told him to hurry up. Eventually, the two of them reached the checkpoint where their grave was having lunch, both of them completely exhausted. As Daichi ate, Kosuke attempted to talk to him, but Daichi looked confused by his approach since they were not friends. Kosuke was baffled when Daichi explained that helping him felt like giving up his seat for an elderly person, rather than something done out of friendship. Even so, Kosuke insisted that they eat together since it felt awkward to eat alone. When he sat beside Daichi, he quietly observed him. They had never spoken much in class and Daichi was known for keeping to himself, which explains why he was still single despite being handsome. When he offered some of his lunch, Daichi didn't hesitate to ask for his chicken. When it was time to head home, they sat next to each other on the bus. Kosuke dozed off easily, and when he woke up, he saw Daiki sleeping as well with his hand under Daichi's. He intended to slip his hand away, but instead decided to try holding Daichi's hand to see what it felt like. When he looks over, Daichi is bright red and staring right back at him. Daichi turns away, making Kosuke realize he wasn't even sleeping in the first place. Daichi squeezes back, leaving Kosuke totally confused about what this means for his romance stats. He finishes the story saying they started dating right after, while the girls gush over this adorable lore. The next day, the squad heads to the river to catch some fish and vibe in the sun. Daichi comments on Luna's fit, so she naturally roasts his stomach in return. Classic banter. Meanwhile, Akira is waiting outside while Shizuka finishes her gear swap. She's having trouble with the swimsuit, and since Luna's already gone, she asks Akira for a helping hand. When Akira steps in, he is absolutely stunned. Shizuka's swimwear stats are off the charts. After rebooting his brain, he notices a strap is snagged under the frills and helps her fix it. Once it's sorted, he admits she looks incredibly adorable and insists she wears the matching skirt. When they hit the riverbank, even Luna starts gushing over how precious our MC looks. And although Akira is just vibing in the shallows, Luna proves she's got up predator stats by swiping fish onto the shore with her bare hands, leading our MC to try and match her energy, but he hits a major skill issue and fails every catch, which is actually a buff for the girls because his drenched clothes are clinging to his muscular character model, prompting Shizuka to drop a bold request for him to just take the shirt off already. But Akira is too embarrassed to reveal his invisible gains, especially when Daichi tells them to stop slacking and help with the loot. So he decides to rest with Shizuka instead, where she admits she's getting a little jealous of everyone seeing him, resulting in a cozy moment where he caresses her ear to calm her down. The structure of the human ear, AI-generated Shutterstock. Meanwhile, on the trip home, Daiki is driving while Kosuke gushes about their relationship, and as Akira watches Shizuka sleep, He dreams of a solo trip together, but the next day at the office, our girl is completely nerfed by her own thoughts, smiling and giggling like she's got permanent plot armor because she can't stop replaying that first kiss in her head. So once the work day ends, Akira invites her to a bar to keep the momentum going. And sensing she's still tense, he guides her hand to his chest to prove his heart is pounding just as fast as hers, leading her to confess that she actually likes it when he's a bit bolder with his moves. They hit the bar where Shizuka is feeling like a total NPC because she's never held a cocktail glass before. So she decides to speedrun her drink for a courage buff and moves in close to sit right next to him, honestly admitting she has zero romantic experience and that their kiss was her very first event, which is honestly adorable, but Akira plays it safe and gets her some water before the alcohol deletes her dignity entirely. The taxi ride home is a mix of regret and confusion, as Shizuka thinks her tea invite rejection means she's been ghosted, until Akira pulls her into an embrace to show her he's definitely treasuring her as more than just a co-worker. Then a heavy rain event drenches the town, leading to a peak romance scene where the two are huddled under a blanket to share a heater, nearly reaching a second kiss until Luna bursts into the office and deletes the mood with her usual chaotic energy. Next up is the Meet the Parents boss fight where Shizuka's mom, Yukari, pulls up to meet the invisible boyfriend, and Akira actually manages to riz her up with a gift and a joke about a 30% family discount on investigations. But while Shizuka is panicking about marriage talk, Akira is secretly hyping her up to her mom, telling her how capable and independent she's become, which makes the mom officially pass him the torch to take care of her daughter from now on. To keep the aesthetic vibes high, Akira takes her to a rose garden, where the scents are so thick she feels like she's in a shoujo manga, and they hit a cafe in the middle of the roses to try some edible petals, where Akira describes everything as adorable, while our girl is just focused on the flavor buffs. But the piece is obliterated when Karma spawns at the office in a total panic, because his wife Light has seemingly yeeted herself out of their marriage, so he starts clinging to the agency like a lonely ghost, and even moves in with Akira, acting like a legendary tier maid to cope with his divorce fears, eventually following them into a case where they have to tail an eagle-like beastman through the city, where Akira realizes this tailing mission is basically impossible until Karma reveals his Dark Elf ability to nerf other powers, dampening the birdfolk's wings so they can't fly away, all because his negative headspace over his potential divorce is giving him a massive power buff. He explains that bars are the place to go when you want to enjoy a drink with someone special. She turns bright red and decides it's time to be a bolder version of herself. With that logic, she chugs her cocktail and moves in to sit right next to Akira. Once she's in his personal space, she decides to drop some truth bombs. She declares that she has no romantic experience and voices her fear that Akira might find her childish. Akira tries to tell her she's perfect as is, but Shizuka isn't done with her drunken confession. She shyly admits that Kiss was her first and begs for forgiveness for being a total noob. It's honestly endearing, but Akira is low-key worried about her apologizing for literally everything. Deciding she's hit her limit, he calls for some water to clear that drunk debuff. In the taxi, Shizuka starts sobering up and immediately regrets her main character speech. She invites him for tea, but he turns it down. Shizuka thinks she's hit a rejection debuff and enters full gloom mode. She feels completely defeated as she walks toward her door. When she says goodbye, Akira pulls her into an embrace, knowing exactly what's on her mind. He asks her if he's actually allowed to treasure her. The romantic vibe misses completely. Shizuka thinks he means her recent salary raise. He figures everything is cool and leaves, but Shizuka feels like she just failed a dialogue check. The next morning, it's a total downpour in her town. Since he skipped the umbrella, Akira arrives at the office in a completely drenched state. He starts peeling off his shirt right as Shizuka enters, looking just as soaked as him. Feeling self-conscious, he shirts back up while Shizuka complains about the rain. Feeling the chill, he moves the heater to her and offers her a dry towel. Shizuka thinks it's sus he has that gear ready and asks if he got caught in the rain too. Akira denies it and goes to find a blanket while she huddles by the heater. When he gets back, Shizuka notices his hands are actually soaking wet. She feels his clothes and realizes he's been lying to protect her feelings, so she hits him with a scolding. Eventually, they end up sharing the blanket and the heater on the couch. Shizuka is super shy about how closely they're pressed together. Then she feels Akira's hand gently slip into hers. She admits she's happy just to share these cozy, small moments with him. Akira moves in for the kiss, but Luna bursts in like a boss fight before their lips even touch. Shizuka remembers how much her mom, Yukari, wanted a formal introduction after their first encounter, which leads to today's high-stakes meeting with the mother-in-law. Akira and Yukari play it polite, and he even brings a gift to secure the win. Shizuka is struggling to find a topic that doesn't feel like a trap. She's terrified this is gonna turn into a forced marriage discussion arc. She's so stressed she misses the actual convo, leaving her confused when Mom starts thanking Akira. Yukari reveals Akira promised her a 30% discount on detective work because Shizuka is his best girl. Shizuka scolds him and wonders why her mom would even need a private eye. Mom jokes she wants to catch her husband cheating, leaving Shizuka in a panic until the lunch finally ends. They walk to the station, and Shizuka apologizes for her mother's chaotic energy. Akira says it was great, and that Yukari kept the conversation flow on point. He mentions they talked about something important while she was away. He doesn't mention they were talking about how much Shizuka has grown and improved at work. He told her Shizuka is super capable and that the whole team relies on her. Yukari gets emotional, proud that her daughter is thriving in the city on her own. She then asks Akira to take good care of her precious girl. Akira goes silent, and Shizuka has no idea what they actually discussed. On another day, Akira brings Shizuka to a beautiful rose garden. Shizuka is confused by the scent, so Akira puts a rose right in front of her nose. She guesses it immediately, and Akira hands her the flower as a romantic gift. He reveals this garden is the spot for their next major date. Shizuka is blushing like crazy, feeling like she's the lead in a romance novel. The scent of the roses is so strong it feels like she's being showered in them. Akira asks why she's still carrying the rose, and she says she wants it close at all times. She gets shy, thinking she's acting like a kid again, but Akira just finds it sweet. He's just happy his simple gift got such a high-tier reaction. He brings her to a garden cafe and orders a special tea set. Everything on the menu is literally made with rose petals. He describes where everything is on her plate so she can enjoy the full experience. As she eats, Akira comments on how cute all the food looks. Shizuka gets curious and asks what he means by adorable. He goes into detail, helping her paint a mental picture of the fancy setup. But Shizuka is too busy enjoying the flavors to care. She's just happy to be there with him. Back at the office, Shizuka arrives early as usual to handle the daily tasks. Suddenly, unfamiliar hands wrap around her, and a loud voice yells a greeting. She screams and hits Karma, prompting Akira to rush in like a hero. She finally recognizes Karma's voice, and Akira gets between them, scolding him for having zero chill. Karma reveals Light left the house with bags packed, saying she'd be gone for a bit. Feeling lonely, he decided to bring tea and crash at the agency for company. Akira reminds him it's a work day, but Karma is in full clingy mode. He says he'll rot if he has to be alone, then lights up when Light finally calls him. He expects good news, but starts panicking when she hangs up immediately. She's at her parents' place, and Karma is convinced this is the divorce arc. He's crying to Akira, thinking his marriage has hit a game over screen. Shizuka tries to comfort him, but Akira tells him to just go home and try calling again. Karma refuses, hugging the furniture and refusing to leave his safe zone. Shizuka feels bad and says they should just humor him for a while. Without even asking, Karma declares he's officially moving in with Akira. The next morning, Karma bursts into Akira's room, yelling that breakfast is ready. He says he prepped a bath and jokingly offers himself to Akira, zero boundaries. He says that he even prepared a bath for Akira and teasingly suggests that Akira can have him. At breakfast, Akira asks if he's reached out to Light yet. Karma goes pale, he's too scared of the rejection to even try. He declares he's staying with Akira until the heat death of the universe. They go to work, and Shizuka notices Akira's mood has taken a major hit. Karma insists he's helping, but Akira says he only feels better once he sees Shizuka. Karma decides to prove his worth by helping out with some actual detective work. They end up tailing an eagle beastman, which sounds like an impossible quest. Akira says tracking a flyer is tough, but Karma uses an op-dampening ability to ground him. Turns out dark elves can disable other powers if they're in a negative headspace, and since he's currently in a divorce gloom, Karma's abilities are at maximum output. Karma reveals that dark elves can dampen other abilities, but they need to be in a negative headspace for it to work. His abilities are especially effective today, since there is a high chance of him facing divorce. Seems that this is really eating at him. So Akira offers him a place to stay to avoid a total breakdown, but only if he stops stalling and finally calls Light to settle the score, which leads to a hilarious bickering match back at the office where Akira literally has to force the dial for him, making Shizuka realize these two actually have some top-tier, best friend chemistry despite the constant roasting. And in the middle of the chaos, the call connects, forcing Karma to retreat to a corner to talk to his wife, keeping the conversation on low volume while Akira and Shizuka wait for the results of the mission. When the call ends, Karma suddenly announces he's heading home, his mood buffed, leaving Akira and Shizuka to finally enjoy some peace and tea while the heavy weight of the third wheel is yeeted from the room, prompting Shizuka to ask if our MC actually hates the Dark Elf, which he denies, admitting he's actually a little jealous of how Karma's expressive Riz is always maxed out while he struggles to show his feelings. Shizuka takes the opening and tells him to be more expressive right now, so Akira tests the waters by leaning his head on her shoulder in a classic wholesome MC move, which feels weirdly new to him as she starts patting his head to comfort him, leading to a moment where Shizuka starts feeling around his face, explaining that she rarely gets to be this intimate with anyone. So Akira counters with a face touch of his own that sends her blushing stats into red line territory, fascinated by how her skin changes color while he squishes her cheeks and maps out her features with a gentle touch. But as she tries to match his energy, her hand slips and accidentally ends up in his mouth, ending the episode